Okey doke. Okay, we'll begin right now the Planning Committee meeting of Akron City Council. I'd like to request a roll call.
Fusco.
Aye.
Keener.
Aye.
Connor. Boys.
Aye.
Hannah.
Here.
All committee members are present.
Thank you. I'd like to request a motion to accept the minutes of the previously held meeting.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 You guys have it. Very good. I understand that we do have one item that's up for public hearing today, and the procedure simply will be that we will request or we will receive a report from the planning department referencing the conditional use. After that, we will then swear in any individuals that wish to testify before the committee, and then we will open up a public hearing, request information from the community during that public hearing. After that, we will then close the public hearing portion, open it up to questions from the committee members, and then open it up to questions if any council members whatsoever have questions. They'll have that opportunity to ask those questions. And then after that, we'll repeat the process this evening at 5 o'clock. And the only difference is that this evening we will make a recommendation to all of City Council, either in favor, against, or to table an item, and that means to refer this item for further consideration. So with that, I would respectfully request that our Clerk of Council, Sarah Biviano, please read in that item that's up for public hearing today.
The item up for public hearing today is an ordinance accepting the eligibility report for the Meridian Urban Renewal Area, approving the Meridian Urban Renewal Area Plan, and making necessary findings in connection therewith and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Mulhauser?
Good afternoon, Planning Committee members. The Meridian Renewal Area is located in north central Akron at the south end of Meridian Street. The renewal area encompasses approximately 4.77 acres and consists of one vacant privately owned parcel. The Meridian Renewal Plan contains a description of area boundaries, a statement of objectives, a land use plan, and a description of the techniques and standards to accomplish the objectives. The Meridian Urban Renewal Plan will allow for the redevelopment of the area, including clearing blighting influences, preventing the recurrence of blight, and facilitating the development of new single-family homes. The Urban Renewal Plan and Eligibility Report describes existing conditions within the area. The vacant parcel occupies 4.77 acres at the southern terminus of Meridian Street. Up until recently, the lot encompassing the renewal area boundary was wooded. In late 2023, trees on the property were cleared for the new development. The current property owner is intending to develop the lot with 20 single-family homes. Surrounding land use in the immediate adjacent area is primarily single-family residential, but retail development is in close proximity to the north and south. The subject area parcel lacks infrastructure and suffers from a faulty lot layout in relation to size, adequacy, accessibility, or usefulness. The parcel in its existing condition is folded debris left over from the tree removal, mixed with scattered litter in specific areas. Pooling of water is occurring in low spots. These conditions are of sufficient scope and pervasiveness to qualify the area as a blighted area under sections 108 and 172801 of the Ohio Revised Code. The establishment of the renewal plan gives the city the ability to utilize tax increment financing in the plan area under provisions of the Ohio Revised Code. Existing zoning will not be changed, and the parcel is zoned single-family residence use district. Both the Planning Commission and the Planning Department recommend approval. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's anyone here that wishes to testify before the committee. Please be sworn in from our Clerk of Council, Sarah Biviano. Anyone? No one signed up online or anything?
We did not have anybody sign up online. Is there
Okay.
anyone here in the audience that wishes to speak?
Very good. However, though, for our friends in the law department, we will open up the public hearing, and we will ask if there's anyone wishing to testify before the committee. Anyone wishing? Anyone? Hearing none, we will now close the public hearing and open it up for questions from the committee members. Are there any questions? I have a question. So the zoning piece is there's not going to be conditional zoning on this? It's already,
Yeah, it's already zoned for the intended use. The parcels will be a size that are permissible under the existing zoning. The main impetus for the plan is that putting a plan in place gives the city ability to use tax increment financing to help pay for the infrastructure.
hence the reason why we're here today.
Correct.
Correct. Very good. So this will be the only time we'll see this?
Yes.
Proposal for Meridian will be just this, no other proposals whatsoever? Other
Yeah,
than the TIF, I think the TIF piece we'd probably see.
Right.
The financing for that.
The TIF will come
But
forward.
aside from that, anything else?
Apologize for the confusion, Chair. The plat for the site, the replatting for the site has been through Planning Commission, and I am trying to verify that it's been through committee as well. If it hasn't, it will. But I believe it has come through committee last year. The replatting, to create
Right.
single-family parcels.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Further questions from committee members? Any council members with any questions? Anyone? Okey dokey. Oh, yes, Mr. McKittrick.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I have a vague recollection of this coming through previously. And some of the information that was here previously, did it give an idea of what the cost of these homes were going to be, like a ballpark?
They already built 2 homes on the block previously on privately owned lots. I think those were going for around $250. Is that around $250 to $300? $275. Okay. And it should be similar to that.
Okay. I'm just curious. I'm familiar. I lived in proximity to this for about 20-some years up in North Hill before moving to my present location. And I'm just curious whether, does that area support that market as far as that price? That's my only concern and question. Thank you.
Yes, the 2 previous homes sold, and we've been seeing comparable prices like that throughout the city for new construction. I think the tax abatement assists in that. But yes, we're getting selling prices for $275 to $300 on, typical homes built in typical neighborhoods seems to be what we've been getting lately for about the last 6 months.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Is this the form-based zoning? Is that what's going to be constructed here, or?
The zoning is not, it's the standard,
think
the
so.
pre-existing single-family zoning. Because we are involved in the transaction and supporting it financially with the TIF, or will be with the tax increment financing, we do review both site layout and the design of the houses themselves for design review and make suggestions, and that's been part of our practice now for a few years. And so, but it's not, the form-based code does not apply to this particular neighborhood, so it's the standard, what is it called, U1? U1.
Yep, you want a single family.
Did the ward council person get an opportunity to review some of these plans, the look of these things, and how it's going to be constructed, what it's going to
I
look like?
believe there was a review last year with you, is that correct, sir?
I'm definitely familiar with the property and everything like that, but I was just concerned with that form-based code too, and had some conversations with the builder, but not that extensive, if this is going to cause any problems.
Okay, good. Very good. Thank you. Further questions or comments from anyone at all? Okay, very good. I'd like to invite those individuals that may not be here, but would want to be here this evening at 5, because we'll have an additional public hearing at 5 o'clock. The committee then will make a recommendation to all of council. Thank you very much. With that, we'll now move on to the balance of the regular agenda. Short of any concerns or questions, going to go ahead and recommend that we take time on 2, 3, I do believe, 3, 4. This is referencing the contract with nonprofit organizations, the consolidated plan for 2024. We did request information. We did receive that information. It was forwarded from our clerk, Sarah Biviano, to council, hoping everyone had an opportunity to review that. Didn't hear any questions or comments, I don't believe, from anyone. So with that, I'd go ahead and recommend that we move forward on it. Is there any questions or comments beforehand? With that, I'd like to hear a request for a favorable report. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Again?
Aye.
You guys have it. Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and recommend we continue to take time and move into the new list of legislation. The first item is going to be commonly referred to as item number 4. Could you please read that in, Ms. Viviano?
Item number 4 is an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of sales and/or development agreements with Rochling Automotive USA LLP and Hillendale Farms, Inc. or their designees, providing for the sale and redevelopment of city-owned property located in the Massillon Road Industrial Park, and that is within the Massillon Road redevelopment plan area, and declaring an emergency.
Hello, Susie Graham Moore is here, and Brad Becker.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Chairperson, and to the committee. This legislation allows for the splitting of a parcel to accommodate expansion by both Rochling and Hillendale Farms. Brad, do you want to review everything?
Yeah, Hillendale Farms currently is in Akron right now. They're on Massillon Road, right off Massillon Road. They're a big cheese and egg distribution center. Currently, they have 60 employees. They also plan to hire an additional 10 to 20 in the next few years. Payroll now is $2.8 million. The company's going to buy approximately 12.6 acres from the city at $25,000 an acre and build a brand-new 80,000 square foot facility out at Massillon Road for their distribution.
80,000, did you say?
What's that?
80,000?
80,000, yes. And it will have enough room for expansion to possibly up to over 100,000 in the future. So they're buying enough property for expansion.
Cool.
So
Up to 100,000.
Yeah, they're growing. The egg and cheese business is good. This project is a great business retention because obviously we wouldn't want to lose them to somewhere else. The company is headquartered in Pennsylvania, and they're excited about getting this property and going forward with the project.
Very good. Do they have a presence in Akron now, did you say?
Yes, they're actually off of Massillon Road, but in the corporation limits of Akron.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know.
And the other portion is Rochling. Rochling has been out at Massillon Road for probably 15 years. They're an automotive parts maker. They make a lot of plastic parts for Ford and BMW, a lot of the front ends by injection molding. They need a little smaller piece. They need just an acre right now because they're expanding. They're going to hire about up to 25 people over the next 3 years. Currently, they have 160 full-time employees at $8.4 million in payroll. And that money, obviously, that income tax is a great benefit to the city right now as part of the JED.
Yes.
But again, this is another success story for the city. This is one that we were able to expand here in Akron from the K Show over in Germany, which is one of the largest plastic show in the world.
Yep.
And they came here. They have facilities on the East Coast, but they needed something more central. So they liked Akron because of our plastics hub, now and our tech hub and the University of Akron, so they get a lot of people from the University of Akron as far as plastics engineers that they hire. So again, it's a great expansion and attraction story.
Brad, is this 25,000 for the acre?
Yes, correct.
Okay, figured as much. Yeah, and that was, I do recall voting on that back in the day, and it was highly competitive. We were in competition with a couple other communities, and just for some of the new folks that are here that weren't here for that, we moved extremely quickly. And that was, I believe, one of the things that had impressed them, that there was cooperation with the second and third floors in terms of getting something done quickly. And so when it comes to economic development, that seems to be key. So that's great news. Another expansion for Rochling, which is, who's counting at this point? I mean, there's been so many.
Yes.
3, 4?
Yeah,
in the
they have,
time?
right now, they have over $22 million in that facility.
Yeah.
So, you know, they keep going, keep growing.
That's wonderful. And the Hillendale thing is, that's great to hear. Who knew? So that's also great news from the economic development side. One quick question, though, is how come this is kind of like lumped together? Should it be separate or not? I'm just curious.
Basically, we have a large parcel out there,
Okay,
which is about over 30 acres right now. So we're parceling off 2 pieces of it.
okay,
So we thought we'd come with one piece of legislation, because these projects are going at the same time.
okay,
They're all going straight forward. They're going to start construction in the fall.
Right.
So we thought we'd do
Okay.
it with one piece.
good. No, this sounds wonderful, and this is why the JED is there, for this very reason. Wonderful news. Questions or comments from any committee members? Council members, Mr. McKittrick.
Thanks, Councilwoman, for letting me borrow your mic again. Thanks, Chair. No, this is a great thing. This is just south of my ward, and I drive by this area constantly. This is a great use of this property, and it will have a positive impact, and I am in support of this. Thank you.
Yeah, like I said before, the Rochling, you know, this is a competition, and, you know, oftentimes, as we learned with Goodyear and other projects, so I would recommend favorable in moving this evening on this particular item. Short of any questions or any concerns from the administration side, is that okay?
It's fine. Thank
Okay,
you.
very good. With that, is there a recommendation?
I'll recommend.
Yeah, favorable suspension of the rules. Very good. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
We'll report that out this evening. Thank you, and keep up the good work in terms of bringing folks to our JED and to our city and keeping them local. It's important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item number 5. Is there someone here? Oh, at first, I'd like our clerk to please read in item 5. Thank you.
Item number 5 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of the Department of Planning and Urban Development to enter into a contract with Let's Grow Akron, Inc. for the provision of operating the Akron Grows Public Gardening Program in order to carry out the intent and purpose of programs under the Consolidated Plan for the year 2024, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Mulhauser.
Yes, this legislation supports the 2024 Akron Grows Community Garden Program. In 2024, the city of Akron will receive approximately $5.8 million in community development block grant funds through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The Akron Grows program is funded through the CDBG program and provides the opportunity to garden for residents in the city of Akron on vacant city-owned properties specifically set aside for community gardens. Let's Grow Akron oversees the program, assisting residents with signing up for the individual plots, assisting with the preparation of the gardens, soil testing, getting water to the sites, answering questions in year-round garden maintenance, including fencing of the gardens and end-of-the-year cleanups of the gardens. Thank you.
Thank you for your report, Mr. Mulhauser. I do know Lisa Nunn is here, who's in charge of, the boss, executive director, I don't know what else, with regards to Let's Grow Akron, who's done a great job for some time now, and we appreciate everything you've done for our city.
And thank you for supporting us in this way. Although this contract supports a certain number of gardens, it does allow us as an organization to provide garden opportunities at 25 sites throughout the city, most of which are set up for people to grow their own food, but also to grow food for food pantries and community meals and cooking classes and farmers markets. We have a good hundreds of people involved in this movement of growing their own food and also purchasing and sharing food. So it's really important. Most of the sites are located in low-income neighborhoods and have a great impact on people's already stretched and stretching even further food budgets.
Thank you, Lisa.
I'm open to answering any questions that you might have about the program.
Thank you so much for everything you do, as mentioned. Is there questions from anyone on the committee?
Not a question, just a comment. Let's Grow Akron, we can't say enough great things about them. Not only do they do these community gardens and lots, I would be stretched to find a community garden that they haven't helped or touched in some way. The work they've done, at least locally in Ward 10, has been phenomenal, and Lisa's always willing to lend a hand with her and her crew, so we are grateful.
Thank you. That's a good point, that even if it's not a garden that we run and manage, we do offer support to other people starting community garden projects and try to lend a hand where we can. So thank you for your support.
Thank you. Yes.
Just a quick comment. It's great to have Let's Grow Akron in Ward 9. You guys have made a big impact on the Summit Lake area, and also now that the trail has gone in, I've seen a lot of activity at they have a market, a store on the west side of the lake, and it's been interesting to see different folks learn more about you, folks who aren't maybe involved in the gardening program. And I also wanted to put a plug in for the Summit Lake. You've got events coming up soon.
Yes,
This is tomorrow your
flyers,
first.
in case anyone's interested, I always come armed with flyers, but the Summit Lake Neighborhood Farmers Market starts tomorrow. It's on Tuesdays from June through September at the Summit Lake Community Center. And also, thank you for mentioning our little store, which is located on the Kenmore side of Summit Lake. That's open 6 days a week, and you can come down and see our headquarters, our gardens, our chickens, our bees. We offer some free giveaways and things there as well, but it's a good way to support the program by coming and purchasing vegetables and value-added products that are made available to the neighborhood.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the support.
Lisa. Mr. Mulhauser, how much did we provide last year?
$70,000.
How much, I'm sorry?
$70,000 is what the
70?
contract is for.
Okay, and this is for how much?
$70,000 again.
Okay, okay. Okey doke. Is there a rush on this?
Is there a rush?
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily.
Is consent agenda okay?
Yes,
or-
that's fine.
Is there any questions or concerns from any? I have a desire to go ahead and go forward, but I'd like to, possibly talk about, what we could do moving forward, if anything, over and above what's currently proposed. So, but I don't want to hold it up either. So how about if we just do this consent agenda? That means we'll vote on it next week. I'm very certain and confident that council has a desire to move forward, but it would just be a week. Would that affect anything in terms of growing season or whatever? I don't want to. Yeah. I don't know if it's supposed to rain or not, if that's going to affect things, but hopefully the sun will come out. Is consent agenda okay with the committee? And if so, is there a recommendation for that?
Recommend consent.
Is there a second? Okay, very good. With that, all those in favor of consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Hi. Aye.
Against? Very good, thank you so much. With that, we're adjourned.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, before you adjourn, Dylan Garitano is here to talk
Oh,
about this.
That's right, we're going
Yes, and
to,
we also have a guest online with us.
about scooters, I think?
Correct.
I don't know if that's a proper term. Is it scooters or is it What is it?
Scooters is correct. So
Scooters is good. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So good afternoon. Today we're here to talk a little bit about the orange scooters that I'm sure several of you have seen around the city.
We have.
So in 2020, the city launched an agreement with Spin Scooters for the city's first micro mobility program. So this allows for people to get around the city by renting a scooter. So Spin is allowed to operate within the city's public right-of-way. Users can pick up a scooter and rent it with the mobile phone application, and they can pay for their trip sort of like they would for a rideshare like Uber.
Okay.
Recently, I've spoken with a few members of the council about some concerns and complaints from residents, and the question is about where should those complaints be directed to. So today, I want to introduce Jimmy Gilman with Spin Scooters, who is the head of government partnerships. And I wanted to allow for an opportunity for some information for the council members to speak with him and myself about the scooter program so that you guys know how to move forward with your, since we have new members of the council.
Very good. Thank you so much for coming down, Dylan. And who do we have here with us?
Mr. Jimmy Gilman.
I'm sorry. Okay, and he's with the Spin? That's
Yes.
the proper term?
Yes.
Very good. We have a temporary ambulance. Yes, by all means, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and Spin.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me today. So my name is Jimmy Gilman, as Dylan mentioned. I'm our head of government partnerships at Spin, and really thought this would be a good time to come in front of the committee and answer any questions that y'all have in terms of, first of all, how the program works, what we're seeing out there in terms of ridership and number of users, as well as to streamline any issues that come up with the program, any parking relocation requests, areas where we're seeing improper scooter parking behavior, and really the ways that we can streamline the communication to make sure that we're receiving those requests or any concerns of the community in an efficient manner and making sure that we're addressing those ASAP when they do come up. So again, really appreciate the opportunity to be here, meet some of you all, meet some of you all, and answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much. And what's your first name again? I'm sorry.
Jimmy.
Jimmy? Okay, Jimmy. Thank you. One quick question off the bat is just simply, how do we get a hold of you if we do have a question or concern versus trying to, navigate what have you? But is there a way, are you the proper person or is there someone else?
Yeah, so we do have an internal customer support team. So we have a 1-800 number, or it's actually a 188 number, and a Spin support email address. And those are actually listed on stickers on each scooter that is in the field. So that's sort of our baseline customer service offering. We do have other things that since this program started in 2020, as Dylan mentioned, that we've developed on our end as well that we could incorporate here, such as integrating into the city's 311 system. We've done that recently in some other programs. So for example, if folks and residents have any concerns, they could go directly to a 311 system, have that route directly to us on the Spin side of things, so that folks don't have to look for the customer service number or email directly on a Spin scooter. So that's something we could add to the program. And I have some other ideas as well that I'm happy to clarify on too.
Very good. Can you just provide that for us, the phone number and email for council, and we'll make sure that all council gets a hold of that. It'll make it a little easier for them whenever they address these concerns that are brought forward. So that if you can just give that to us, that would be great.
Sure. I can either share now or follow up.
Right now would be cool, and then we'll, if you could share that with us right now, that'd be cool.
Sure. So the phone number is 1-888-249-9698. And the email address is support@spin.pm. The last two letters are P as in Paul, M as in Mary. So support@spin.pm.
Good. Thank you so much for that. I'll now open it up to some committee members who may have questions, and then after that, council members. Any committee members with any questions or comments? Yeah, she's not on the committee. Anybody on the committee with questions? I see Mr. Kamer on the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that. And I want to thank Sarah and obviously yourself for allowing these folks to come into your committee to present. I know I've raised some concerns over the last couple months in regards to some of the phone calls I've been getting in regards to the scooters. And I definitely would like to see how we can streamline. Obviously, I don't want to put more work onto City of Akron employees, but if it's something that we can come to agreement where residents can contact 311, and if they do have any concerns or problems, and then hopefully that is fast tracked over back to Jimmy and Spin. You know, some of the concerns I've had, usually I get just a few phone calls every summer in regards to the scooters. And I know Dylan and I've spoke on the phone, and you know, like one of the concerns I've had a few months ago where one of my elderly residents went to pull out of the driveway and there was a Spin scooter back behind their vehicle. Then they had to get out of the vehicle and move that Spin scooter. But then it was the I don't want to use the word lack of communication, but it's hard to get somebody on the phone from the company. So whatever we can do as a city to help the residents communicate with anyone, if it's 311 and they're able to, you know, get that message over to Spin, or if there's, you know, some information we can get out to the citizens and residents so they know exactly who to call, and hopefully they're able to speak with some kind of representative. So I appreciate it, and thanks for having this presentation. And you know, I want to learn as much as I can about these scooters and see how we can, you know, just help everyone out, and especially the users, just making sure they're being friendly and respectful. And that's it. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kamer. Oh, yes. Tina Boyes?
Thank you.
Sorry,
Mr. Chair.
Linda, she's on committee.
I'm just curious. So I know these scooters are picked up from time to time. I'm guessing to recharge them, whatnot. How are the scooters maintained? How are you able to locate where the scooters are? And, you know, what does that maintenance schedule look like? Because, you know, to my colleague's point, they can be found anywhere, you know, based on who rides them. You ride it to your house, you leave it outside your house, there it is. Is there any kind of control that can be provided through the maintenance process to identify haphazardly laid scooters, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. And so we do have a team of W-2 employees, so fully internal employees, working to maintain the program on regular shifts. And frankly, we have folks out there 24/7 on most days to address concerns or just attend to the fleet regularly as part of their work. So yes, each scooter has a GPS mechanism on the device. So we have a map where we can see all of the devices at a given time. Within our operator tools, if a scooter hasn't been ridden or touched or observed by our staff in the field for 48 hours, it will automatically trigger our team to check on that device, make sure that everything is functioning properly. And if it's in an improper parking location, we say rebalance or relocate that device to a proper parking spot. The scooters